Greetings guys, I hope you guys can hear me. I just want to check before I start with the session if you guys can hear me, and please share the link to other groups so that people can join us. Just comment we can hear you, sir, because I want to proceed with the session right now. Those who are here, please check with others, and I'll be starting in exactly 2 minutes. I will be starting with the session in 2 minutes. Those who are live with me, please put on the charts. I just want to check if you guys can hear me before I proceed or start with the session. Guys, please comment. Let me know if you can hear, because I want to start with the session. I see Marcelo says yes. She says we can. Joy says we can. And then others, can you hear me? Is my volume loud and clear? Let's share the link, encourage others to join. I'll be starting in exactly 6:15. So, are your calculators ready? Are your calculators ready? Are you ready? Because we are going to do some work here. Are your calculators ready? Let's start with the lesson if people are ready. So we are doing this question of the markup and then after that we're going to do this one of VAT, right? So we are going to answer all the questions on markup and VAT. So we're going to answer all the questions from 1 to 6 this side, and on the other side we're going to answer from what is it, 9 or 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Okay, so let's start with this question. Firstly, I'm going to try to explain what is markup, right? I'm going to explain what is markup. Okay, I'm going to explain what is markup. All right, so markup is the percentage of the profit, right? Markup is the percentage of the profit, and there is markup on selling price and markup on cost. So now let's start with this question. I'll be explaining as I teach in the process so that people can understand. And this question like this, I want people to just go and get total after I've taught you, because I believe that the knowledge that I'm going to give you here is going to be much fruitful. Okay, so they say calculate unknown in each of the following cases, right? So number one, they say you've got markup 25% on selling price, and then you have to calculate the cost price, the profit, right? So we are in this case having a markup on selling price. So the principle says when the markup is on selling price, the selling price becomes 100. So when you want to calculate this question, firstly, on your rough work, you have to outline the cost price percentages. You also have to outline the markup percentage. Selling price, right? So remember, I'm saying to you, when the markup is on selling price, the selling price is equals to 100, right? So it means our selling price is equals to 100%, right? 100%, and our markup is given is 25%, okay? And then our cost price is going to be 100. You're gonna say 100, you less 25, then your cost price is equals to 75%. Okay, so now, and when we check on the table, we are only given our selling price, which is 12,000, right? So this 12,000 is equals to selling price, which is 100%. In rent value is 12,000, right? It's 12,000 right there. Okay, and then now we need to calculate what? We need to calculate the profit and the cost price. That means we have to calculate the rent value of the cost price, right, and the rent value of the profit, because markup is the percentage of the profit. So now we need to calculate this 1 and 2, right? So now to calculate 1 and 2, let's calculate number 1. Actually, this was just me outlining these percentages for number 1, right? For number 1 here. So 1, this is number 1, and then we will have maybe let's say we're gonna have we're going to calculate the profit, right? Profit. So I mean, let's start with the cost. Actually, cost price, because it's number 1 right there. So cost price, right, for number 1, which is gonna be number 1.1, right? So cost price, we're going to get cost price. Remember, we have to follow certain principles on a formula. So usually I use this formula. I say to you, the rent value you have multiply by the percentage you want divided by the percentage of the rent value you have, right? So now for us to calculate the cost price, we're going to say what is the rent value we have. The rent value we have on the cost price, that we have in this question in number 1 is the cost is the selling price of 12,000. We have a cost price of 12,000, all right, and then we have to multiply by the percentage that we want. We want to calculate the rent value of what? Of cost price. That means we're going to multiply by the percentage of what we want, which is 75%, right? And we're going to divide by the percentage of this 12,000 that we have, which is the rent, which is our rent value, and the percentage of it is 100%. So let's divide by 100% right there. And tell me how much is your cost price quickly. Just put on the chart there. I'm waiting for an answer quickly. Can I see an answer on the charts? Can I see the answer on the charts? Hello, are you guys still here? Can you still hear me? Oh, you are not ready. You don't have the calculator. So the answer, I see Snantlantla says 9,000, and then others. Let's just confirm if Snantlantla is right. I see Tato says 9,000, so it means we are going to have that 9,000 as an answer if you followed this calculation. So our answer for cost price number 1 here is 9,000, right? Right. So how are we going to calculate the profit? The answer here is 9,000. We got it right. 9,000. And then profit. Remember, when we calculate profit, someone can just say 12,000 minus 9,000, right, and get 3,000. But I prefer it that you use the formula so that you don't make you minimize the mistakes in the test. So you have to say 12,000, which is the rent value you have, right? 12,000 multiplied by what percentage do you want now? The percentage that you want is 25 out of 100. How much is your profit right there? Give me the answer for profit. How much is the profit? Just put the answer for the profit on the charts quickly. And those who are joining us for the first time today, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel. So the answer I see, Snay says it's 3,000, of which is correct, right? It is correct. So we're just gonna say 3,000 right there. That is the answer for the profit, 3,000. And we are going to put that as our profit right there. Okay, and then this our answer. Let me just highlight this so that we know then that this is what we were calculating. Okay, and then we are done there. Let's go to the next one. So the next one, which is number 2, they say 15% on cost price. You are required to calculate profit and selling price, but the markup is on cost, right? So with this one, this is number 2, right? So number 2, they are saying to you calculate the profit and the selling price, right? So since the markup is on cost price, you outline the percentage like you did with markup on selling first. And then a selling price. So remember, when the markup is on cost price, the cost price is equals to 100%. And 15% markup. Remember, markup is the percentage of the profit. And then we are going to calculate selling price at 115%, right? So now when we check here, we have the cost price. Our cost price in percentage is 100% based on markup on cost, and in rent value is 7,000, right? 7,000. Okay, and then now we have to calculate the rent value for 15%, which is going to be our profit, and we also have to calculate 15% in rent, 115% in rent, which is our selling price, right? So we need to do what then? And then now, for us to calculate this, remember our formula. You put always, all the time, just put the formula down and follow it so that you avoid to make mistakes, okay? Multiply by the percentage that you want. You divide by the percentage you have for the rent you have, right? That's how you're going to calculate your amounts that are missing. Okay, so what is the rent value you have here? Let's start by calculating the profit. So we're going to say the rent value we have is 7,000. You multiply by 15 out of 100. How much are you getting right there as your profit? Just give me an answer on the chat. I'm waiting for you. How much is the answer? How much is the answer? The answer is 1050. I see Lekra Honolo says 1050. Lungile as well says 1050. That means that is the correct answer, right? As long as you followed them, the method 1050. Okay, and then now we have to calculate our, so it means 1050 is our profit. Now let's put it there first before we complicate a lot of things. And then now we need to calculate our costs. Our selling price, not our cost, our selling price. So our selling price, Leona, is going to be 7,000 multiplied by 115, because that's what we want in rent. We divide by the percentage of the 7,000, which is 100. How much are you getting right there? How much is the answer for selling price number 4? I'm waiting for the answer on the chart. Let's see. It's 8,050. 8,050. That is the correct answer. So the answer here, we agreed it's 8050, right? Let's proceed. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Now let's go to number 3. Number 3, they say the markup is on selling price 40%. Are you guys still here? Let me just see if you guys are still here. If you are still here, just put a react with love emoji right there. React with love emoji right there. Oh, electronic analysis, we're still good. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Let's proceed. So now we are going to number 3, where we are going to answer number 5 and number 6, where they give us a profit, right? So, and the markup is on selling price, right? So I'm just gonna start all over again and say you outline the cost, you outline the percentage of the markup, you outline the percentage of the selling price, and then and then you say when markup is on selling price, the selling price is equal to 100%, right? And then the markup provided or given there is 40%. And then cost price is going to be 60% when the markup is on selling price. This is how we outline the percentages, right? And then now, How much in rent are we given? We are given the profit, which is equals to 40% in percentage, and in rent is equals to 2,400, okay? And then now we need to calculate the rent value of the 60%, which is our cost, and the rent value of the 100%, which is our selling price, okay? So we have to calculate the rent value for this one and the rent value for the cost right there. So and then let's calculate and see how we're going to calculate this one. Remember, the formula does not change. The rent value you have, which is going to be 2,400, you multiply by what do you want? You want 60 out of 40. You want 60 out of 40 this time, because remember the rent value we have is 2,400, right? And the percentage we want is 60 out of 40, because 40 we have both, right? So how much is your cost price right there? I don't know if you guys you find this simple now. How much is your answer right there? And as we are looking for the answer, please, those who are joining us for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's gonna be your channel for the rest of the year. It's gonna be your channel for the rest of the year. So please don't forget to subscribe. And how much is the answer as I'm waiting for your answer on the charts? I see Lungile says 3,600. Lechonola are 3,600. Bongani 3,600. Others can just observe. Sometimes just put something on the charts. You know, participate. It's for your benefit. Can I get the last answer on the charts from someone? Can I get an answer? The last person? No one is willing to give us another answer. I see Hope. Hope, we're not dividing by 100 because 100 value is missing. So let me go and explain again so that people are in the same page with us, right? So if you check here, right, we see the formula, we just follow the formula. The formula says the rent value you have. What is the rent value you have? The rent value that you have is 2,400, okay? And then what do you want? You want the rent value of 60%. So you multiply by 60%. What is the percentage of this 2,400 that you have in rent? Is 40%. That's why we divide by 40. I don't know if you get my point. Hope, did you get me? Hello? Hope, can you comment? Can you put something on the charts if you can hear me? And if you got corrected. And the answer they say is 3,600. Let me just also confirm it on my calculator, but it is correct, I know. So The answer is 3,600 as I confirm it, and is going to be our number 5 right there. Okay, and then I'll also put it in yellow there. And then on the selling price, we still have to follow the same formula. Selling price is equals to 100%, right? So it means we have to say the rent value we have, which is 2.4, we multiply by 100 because that's what we want in rent value. We divide by the percentage of 2,400, which is 40. We divide by 40. Okay, right? How much is our answer right there quickly? Oh, all right. Thank you, Hope. I saw you got me. So let's proceed there. How much is the answer for the selling price? How much is the answer for the selling price? How much is the answer? 6,000. Yes, I just confirmed it on my calculator as well. The answer is 6,000. I see Lungile, I see Snentlantla. The answer is 6,000. That's 100% correct. Others, are you following? Because in this session is only Hope, Snentlantla, and few others that are commenting. So let's all participate. I see Lungile, say 6,000, Snentlantla 6,000, Tina 6,000, Hope 6,000, Atasha 6,000. So that's the correct answer. Okay, so we're gonna put it on the selling price. I'm gonna put it on the selling price. $6,000. Okay, and then now we are done with this table, right, of markup. We are done with this table of markup. Right now I want us to go and deal with the table where we're dealing with markup and VAT. Okay, I want us to go and deal with the table of markup and VAT, and let's just proceed right there. Let's just proceed. So now, on this question, they say calculate the unknown as well in each of the following cases. So here you see they say the markup is on selling price on number 1, and you need to calculate what? The percentage of the markup, right? On number 7, the percentage of the markup. So the percentage of the markup, and when the markup is on selling price, you just, the formula says selling price less cost price divided by selling price, because the markup is on selling price, and then you will get your markup percentage, right? So let's try it. So it's going to be 3,000, which is our selling price, we less 2,500, we divide by 3,000, right? So we have to follow this step so that we don't make any mistakes. So 3,000 minus 2,500 is 500. You divide by 3,000. Remember, you have to multiply by 100 right here. Multiply by 100. I forgot that. Before you get your multiply by 100 there. Let's correct this formula together right there. Multiply by 100, okay? And then 3,000. Multiply by 100. multiply by 100. Okay, so how much is the percentage that you are getting right there quickly, if you understood? But this one, you just have to follow the formula. Just have to follow the formula. How much is the percentage right there? Can I have the answers on the chats? 17%. And how much are you getting? You are getting 16,666, or how much are you getting exactly? Because we can't round off like that. 500 divided by 3000, you multiply by 100, you are getting 16,667. Then the percentage of the markup, it's yeah, Tina maybe is right, but now it is gonna be 16,67%. the answer, correct answer, it must be like this. If you round off, right, the correct answer, you see, that's the correct answer. It cannot be 17. It's 16,67. You only round off the numbers after the comma. So it's gonna be 16,67. That is the answer that I've given you right there. It cannot be 17. You only round off the second digits to 7 only. Then your answer is 16,67, right, percent. But at least you did understand how we get. So the answer is 16,67, right, percent. That is the percentage of the markup that you must put here. 16,67, okay. Right, percent right there, okay. So in the meantime, just figure it out. I'll be with you shortly. Just give me 2 minutes break. All right, we are back. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Let us proceed. So I hope you got that one right. Now let's proceed to that. So with that, right, remember, with VAT we're going to start from here, from this selling price. This selling price is without VAT, and any amount without VAT is 100%, right? And then VAT amount is equal to 15%. And then Marked price is an amount that include VAT. Marked price is an amount that include VAT, which is going to be 100% plus 15, which is going to be 115%. Okay, so that is the amount. That is, I mean, the percentage of the marked price is just the selling price that will include VAT. Remember, this selling price here does not include VAT. And then after adding VAT, this marked price means selling price that is inclusive of VAT, or an amount that includes VAT, right? So now we need to go and calculate what our VAT amount and our marked price. Remember, we are still going to use the formula that says the rent value we have multiplied by the percentage we want, multiplied by, I mean, divided by the rent value we have, the percentage of the rent value we have. Okay, so we are going to say 3,000 we multiply by 15 out of the percentage of 3,000, which is 100. How much is your VAT right there? Quickly, how much is your VAT? Just give me on the chart right there. How much is your VAT? How much is your VAT? How much is your VAT? Are you guys still here? How much is your VAT right then? I see Snay says she deleted. And then Lungile says 45, I mean 450. And then Hope 450, Snay 450. So it means everyone is getting 450. Let me confirm as well on my side. Yes, that's the amount for VAT. That is the amount for VAT, 450, right? And then it's our VAT. I'm gonna put it there, 450. And then now we have to calculate what? Marked price. So when you have to calculate marked price is going to be 3,000, which is the rent value you have, multiplied by 115. You divide by 100, which is the percentage of 3,000 that you have in rent, right? And then how much is your marked price? Obviously, marked price, you can also say 3,000 plus VAT, right? So definitely it's gonna give us 3,450. You can just confirm right there. So are we all getting 3,450 as our marked price? Just confirm with me right there on the charts. But that is the correct answer. right? So this is answer for 7, 16.67. Number 8 is 450, and then marked price 3,450. Let me check on the chart if you guys are. Yes, I see Snake and Hope are allowing or agreeing with me. Right, let's go to the next question. The next question, they want you to calculate cost price. They also want you to calculate the selling price, and they also want you to calculate the VAT, and they gave you marked price of 300, right? So number one, remember we are following this formula. When they give you 3,000 like that, 300 like that, it means you have to say 300, which is the rent value we have. Remember, it's very easy, okay? Don't worry. 300 multiplied by, let's start with the VAT. We are starting from number 12 because we can't start from number 10 when situation is like this. So we're going to start with number 12. Is the easiest to get at the moment. So multiply by 15, divide by the percentage of 300, which is 115. So how much is your VAT right there? Number 12. We start with number 12. In this case, the simplest answer we can get now, that is close, it's VAT. We divide by 115 because remember the formula says the rent value you have, you multiply by the percentage you want, which is you want the rent value of 15% from this amount, and this amount is equals to 115. That's why we divide by 115 right there. So how much is the answer? I'm waiting for an answer on the charts quickly. So you guys are getting how much? 13, what? Let me see on my calculator. Divide by 115. So the answer is gonna be 39 rent, okay? Just 39, because it's in rent value, it's not in percentage. So we are going to have our answer as 39 rent, right? And then we are going to calculate selling price. To calculate selling price, we are still going to use the marked price of 300. To say 300, you multiply by 100, you divide by 115. How much is your answer right there? How much is your answer right there? How much is the answer quickly? So you guys can round off, because I see little Onolo, you did not round off, because I believe the answer must be 261. Because when you say 300 multiply by 100 divided by 115, the answer must be 261. You round to the whole number then, right? So the answer is the one that Benja is showing of 261. That's the correct answer, because you need to learn these things. right? So the answer is 261. You round off. So that is your answer. So now we started with number 12, where the answer is 39 rand, and number 11 it's 261. It's 261. Okay. 261. And then now we have to calculate the cost price. Remember, this one is the markup question, right? And the markup is on cost, so you have to outline percentages. Cost price, remember, when the markup is on cost price, the cost price is equals to 100%. Okay. And then markup is given right there. Markup is given right there is 25%. And then selling price is equal to 125. Okay, 125%. Okay, and then now now for us to calculate our cost, we are going to use 261, the selling price that excludes VAT, which is 261. That is your selling price without VAT, that you're gonna use to calculate your cost price, right? So we're still gonna use that formula that says the rent value we have, which is 261 multiplied by 100, because we wanted the rent value of 100. Then we divide by the percentage of 261, which is the rent value we have, which is going to be 125, right? And then how much is your cost right there quickly? How much is the cost price? As I'm waiting on the chat to view your answer. $209. Let's see. Let me do it on my calculations as well. 261 multiplied by 100 divided by 125. So we are getting an answer of 208.80 cents. So you can convert it to 209. No problem. It's correct. Everyone is correct, but you need to know how to convert these things. It's not a problem. You can put your money in cents as well. You can also put your money in a whole number, right? So the answer there is 208.80, or those who round it off put it as 209. Okay, so I'm gonna put my answer there as 209. Okay, because I don't think you will get it wrong if you wrote it as 208.80, because you did the right calculations. But always, all the time, show your calculations. Always, all the time, in the question paper or in your test, show your calculations on how you arrived at certain answers, so that the lecturer or the person who will be marking can be able to grant you proper marks. Right? So we are done with that one. Let's go to the last question right there, which is number 3. You have to calculate 14, 15 and 13, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so in this case they gave you VAT. So the first answer you can get there is 15 and 14. So let's start with the marked price. Let's go and calculate the marked price for number 3. Marked price, we are going to say the VAT we have of 195 multiplied by 195 multiplied by 195 multiplied by what? We are calculating our marked price. We multiply by 115, right? We divide by 15, because 15 is the percentage of 195 rand, and the principle or the formula says rent value you have, which is 195, multiplied by the percentage of the rent value you want, which is 115, divided by 15, which is the percentage of 195. How much is the answer right there? Quickly. So how much is the answer quickly right there? 1,495. That's what I'm getting as well. That's correct. That's correct. I see Tina says to oh, it's Unity. Unity says 1,495. Litonolo says 1,495, and then Lungile 225.43. Where did you get that? Hey, fix your calculation. Let's wait for Lungile to correct the things, because he's not with us. We forgive you. 1,495. Okay, so $1,495. That's the answer for marked price. So let's proceed right there. I hope Lungile got the right answer now. So let's proceed. Now we have to go and calculate 14. The answer here was 1,495. Okay, so the answer for number 14 is going to be the rent value we have, which is 195, multiplied by, what do we want? We want 100 out of 15, right? Because remember, the formula says the rent value you have, which is 195. You multiply by 100, which is what you want in rent. Then you divide by 15, which is the percentage of 195 in rent. So how much is your money there? Or how much is your selling price without VAT? So how much is the answer right there quickly? 1,300. That's correct. 1,300. I see Unity. I see Lungile now. She's coming right. Thank you. 1,300. 1,300. 1,300. And then now we are done with VAT column, because remember, if you can check from here to there going forward, it's only VAT, right? 100, 15%, 115. Then when we start, and then again from here, going this side, we apply markup, right? So we need to go and apply markup to calculate our cost price, our cost price right there, which is number 13. So remember, it's going to be cost price, which is equal to, the markup is on cost, right? The markup is on cost, so the cost price is equal to 100%. And then a markup, it's equal to 30%. Selling price, it's equal to 130%. Okay. So what do we have? We have selling price of 1,300. 1,300 is our rent value that we have, right? And then now when we calculate, remember we're still following the formula up there that says the rent value we have, which is going to be 1,300 multiplied by what do we want? We want cost price, which is equals to 100%, divided by 130%. How much are you getting right there? So this is very a simple question that I expect people to just go and collect marks from. So let's see, I'm waiting on the chart there. We are getting 1,000. September says 1,000. I mean, Snentant says 1,000, and then others, Unity says 1,000, and the rest of you, are we all getting 1,000? I am getting 1,000 as well. And then that is the answer for 13. All right. So that is the answer. So I hope you guys get this helpful and fruitful, and please do not forget to subscribe to this channel if it's your first time. This channel is going to help you with practical accounting throughout the year, and even next year is still going to help you with those who are going to do costs and estimating. It's still going to help you. So this is your channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, and you can like this video and share to others that could not attend, so that they can at least go and look at this recording. Today I was only planned to do this with you because I know they have much time to prepare a lot of things, right? So I would like you to know that we'll be having another live on Monday. We'll have another live on Tuesday, right? Because you guys are writing. So let's take it from there. Let's take it from there, and I will see you in the next live. And those who are attending my private sessions, we will see you in class on Monday and Tuesday before you write. And those who want to join our private sessions, you can contact me, or you can put you can just comment on the chat right there. I'll attend to you, or you can text me on WhatsApp. My number 0761515496. So if you want to join our private lessons, and those who want to join as we prepare for the upcoming test, you can also text me. I would like to encourage you to study more and more, and do not get scared. Now you can make mistakes, no problem, because you are busy practicing. The only time you are not allowed to make mistakes is in the test. Now you've got the privilege to make mistakes and correct them and get the right answers, right? So I wish you all the best. Let me see you next time in the next live.